I was sitting here in my prayer swing a few days ago, and I had just hired my grandson to do our white fences with the pressure washer because there was moss and mildew developing after 6 or 7 months, and I do that every year. So I thought I'd give him some money to help him in his young teen years. And so I was just minding my own business, having a great time with the Lord. I was finished up, and I glanced over at the fence, and even from this distance, that's like 30, 40 yards. I thought to myself, like, what's that? Now, there are 2 spots on the fence that I can easily see from here, and that's where my grandsons were over here. We were practicing shooting arrows, and they were younger, of course, and didn't really realize they missed the target that I had set up with the fence as a backdrop. And they pulled the bow back and swung the arrow, and the arrow missed the target bale of hay, and it went right through the plastic fence. Didn't even realize that would happen. So it's my fault, really, and I didn't get really angry at them. How can I get angry at grandchildren? So I could see not just the spots on the fence, but I saw something look like dirt. So I thought to myself, how could he have missed spraying that? Even from here, I thought he certainly should have sprayed that little spot I could see all the way from here. And lo and behold, I'll show you what I saw even at this distance. Yeah, that's so unusual. You can't believe it. As I got closer, do you know what this brown stuff is? It's not a dirt clod. It's paw prints from a raccoon. Some raccoon came here at night, wondered what was there, maybe enough light to see the hole, maybe it was like very early morning, and reached up its paws to hold itself against the fence and to peek out the hole that was made by my arrow. Why in the world would a raccoon do that? They even peeked up on that hole because you can see the paw print up on that side. Now, do you know why? You've heard the expression, curiosity killed the cat. Well, you could say curiosity killed the raccoon. They are one of the easiest animals to trap, and I've been trapping raccoons for many years off and on. And I make pelts, and I use those pelts for my raccoon hats. Raccoon love water. There's tracks everywhere, and you'll see their funny, very distinctive paw print. And I don't particularly like leg traps. They're not very effective. If you're not right there on the spot to check the trap, the animal can get out by pulling its leg out or biting its leg off. So there's so many other ways to trap raccoons, but this particular way, it's just to prove my point. I've got a piece of tin foil. Wrap it around the pan. As they're walking by the stream, they'll see it shining, and then they'll be very curious. They'll think maybe it's a silver fish. And especially on a moonlit night where you can see the pan shining in the water. So you put that there, the animal goes by, and he starts fishing around with his paw and his nose, and he puts his paw down, and when he does that, it catches his paw on the trap, and you've got yourself a raccoon. They're very easy to trap because of that. So we can assure ourselves that as smart humans, we know just what it is to lure a raccoon to a trap. The raccoon's dumb and doesn't know. So that's the really basic, simple application that I want to use to prove a spiritual point that relates to you and I, to watch out for the master trapper. If I was as curious as a raccoon, I'd be dead now. Here's what I mean. My best friend Randy, growing up at John Adams Junior High School back in the 60s, did everything with me. We surfed and we hunted, we hiked, and we did all the things guys like, going on bike rides and spent a lot of time together. In fact, we went to Mexico, and you can see in this picture I'm with his mother and father, and we did things as families. My family was a little dysfunctional. His father drove and took us out to Mojave Desert to shoot guns and shoot rabbits and all kinds of stuff. And we just enjoyed life together. So naturally, when he was in junior high school, he bought for $5, that'd be like $40, a pill. And he says, you got to take this. This is so exciting. And he got my curiosity up. I go, what is it? Oh, it's a huge name, but they just call it LSD for short. And if you take it, you'll go on a trip. I said, what kind of trip? Oh man, angels, thunder, lightning, colors. Everybody has a different experience. And so I want you to share with what I have gone through. And man, I quickly sent up a prayer to the Lord. I was raised Catholic and I had a fear of the Lord, a natural instinctive fear. Praise God for that, because it had me check myself. The curiosity made me want to take it, but the check in my spirit wanted me to bounce it off in a quick prayer. Of course, Randy didn't know I was going through all these gyrations, and I felt the Spirit of the Lord prompt me to say, don't take that, it'll kill you. And so, sure enough, I said, Randy, no way, I'm chicken. I figured if you call yourself a chicken, what else can they call you? So he said, no sweat. He went off, and we stopped seeing each other. He began to have the wrong company. That wrong company killed him about 2 to 3 years later. He died of an injection of speed into his veins. He overdosed, and they found him dead on Santa Monica Beach on the sand. I'm so thankful that God spared me. He spared me because I had an instinctive regard for God and desire to serve and know Him. When I got born again in 1972 and really came to know Jesus, I picked up the Bible and I began to find what was called the books of wisdom. I wasn't familiar with them. Psalms, Proverbs, and Ecclesiastes. And I never forget saying, God, I want to have wisdom. And He prompted me to stay in those books. And for 17 years, 5 days a week, I began to read Psalms, Proverbs, and Ecclesiastes over and over and over. And I didn't stop, asking God to give me wisdom for life. And I'm here in my 70s to tell you that God has been faithful to keep me. He's kept me curious. I'm curious by nature, and I've tried all kinds of things, but whatever I've tried and launched out, I bounced off of Him with discernment and wisdom and His Word, and I was able to enjoy life, but to enjoy it in a righteous, right way that would not harm me and bring me death. Stay in His books, the books of wisdom. If you're young especially, listen to this. Those books will keep you, allow you to be curious, but they'll help you to discern the wrong kind of curiosity that can kill you. I leave you with this word to pause and ponder.